What's up, Swifties? I am Marcy, and we are going to dive into some Audible Easter eggs from the life of a showgirl today. And I am Gen X, so I grew up with hearing music from the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, radio, MTV, you name it. And I'm hearing a lot of influences, I guess, coming out of this album. Of not that that hasn't happened before, but this one in particular, I know I've heard a few other reactors mentioning Fleetwood Mac, for example. I totally agree with that. And of course, one thing that is not an Audible Easter egg, the ever elusive orange bird. I would like to talk about that a little bit too. So come along with me. Let's check it out. And we are going to get started with track number 1. Today we are going to do 6 tracks, so 2-part video for this. And of course, that is the fate of Ophelia. So I am going to start off right at the top and play for you this little groovy beginning with the drums. And then this is where we're starting off with Fleetwood Mac. And for me, this is Dreams, the way that this starts. Go ahead and put that next to each other. So you can see, obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's just that same sort of groovy 70s. And obviously Stevie Nicks has been an influence of hers. So starting off with that, and then we're going to jump over to closer into the chorus, because what I was hearing here, right here, let's listen to that. And for that one, I am going to talk about Madonna, Like a Prayer. Now that kept in my head, I kept hearing that feel it all, but I was saying it wrong with power and feel, like it was a little bit reversed in her song and I was trying to remember what it was, and then this. So listen to this. So you can see the similarity there. I really feel like there's, not that it was something she did on purpose, but an influence that came in through that. And that leads us to that orange bird. So let's go back to the beginning. And I know I am talking about mostly audio Easter eggs here, but I can't help but not talk about this. I have a lot of art history background, so obviously the beginning of this video, just adore. We know that this is based on a famous painting of Ophelia that's in a museum in Germany that's getting a lot of attention.
I heard you calling on the megaphone. You wanna see me all alone.
All right, so it was bothering me again, like, what does this remind me of? And this one is a visual. This is very similar to me. Now, a lot of these paintings, obviously we've got, I believe, Sebastian the cat sitting in the background, so this was all kind of her imagination coming into play again as usual. But this, I have seen a lot of references to tarot in her videos, especially Karma in particular. So what I immediately started thinking about with this bird was this. I'm going to move this over. Okay, so, whoops, is that close enough? Is it focusing? Anyway, you can see that in this depiction, this is the 9 of Pentacles, which literally means single, happy woman who has everything she needs, doesn't need a man. So it ties very much into what's coming next in the video with the me, myself, and I Pledge of Allegiance. Speaking of Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to go there next. And then I have another one just to give a similar example. But historically, that card is depicting a falcon that has an orange crest. Same with this here. You can get that to not be out of focus. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, FaceTime camera. Anyway, you can see the color. Same kind of depiction, but it has an orange crest. It's just very interesting to me that possibly she was giving a nod into that next stanza with the independence and being fully aligned with herself. So that's what she's saying. Then he came and lit her sky up. So, all right, that is what I've got for the fate of Ophelia. But I do want to mention too, I think it's interesting that the bird is flying around, and then of course there's that football reference for obvious reasons, but the football is also orange. So in my mind, there could be something tying those two things together. And then one more thing we're going to talk about with a future song in this first 6 tracks here. So we are going to jump over to Elizabeth Taylor. So I am going to start out a little further along into the chorus for this first one. Take a listen.
White diamonds and lovers are forever in the papers, on the screen, and in their minds.
So Lana Del Rey, which we all know is a friend of hers, a collaborator, national anthem.
And your party dress. I'm your national anthem. Boy, put your hands up. Give me a standing ovation. Boy, you have landed, babe, in the land of sweetness and...
So not quite the same thing, but it's just the cadence and the beat and the kind of, like semi-rap tone going on, spoken word sort of poetry sounding to me. And then
I cried our eyes violet, Elizabeth Taylor. Tell me for real, do you think it's forever? Been number one, but I never had to. And I can't have fun if I can't help.
I couldn't help myself. This is just what I'm getting with that sort of beat going back to the 90s. Is that late 80s? No, it was 90s.
Ice, ice, baby, too cold. Ice, ice, baby, too cold. Too cold. Ice, ice, baby, too cold. Too cold.
So one more time. I'm just hearing the beat on this one.
White diamonds and lovers are forever in the papers, on the screen, and in their minds.
So for me, very much like a slowed down version of Vanilla Ice. All right. Next track, we are going to Opalite, and we are also going to start that one off at the top here.
I had a bad habit of missing lovers' power.
Okay, and next to that, I have got Purple Rain, the beginning of that song. So it gives me goosebumps. I love the whole album. Both of them. All right. So you can see there's just one more time similarity between the way this starts off nice and slow, and then we get kind of a haunting guitar,
I had a bad habit.
and then kind of starts hitting in. The next part I want to jump over to is also in the chorus here.
When I told you it's alright, you were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night.
I know it's tempting just to keep playing these. Well, I do need to keep playing that. In particular, the...
But now the sky is Opalite.
right there, that really reminded me of something, and so I have got the Ronettes Be My Baby pulled up here. It's practically the same thing. I'm sure there's lots of songs that have them from the doo-wop era that have that kind of fill-in vocal to it, but that one was a really clear reference to me, I believe. All right, and up next we have Father Figure. Now, obviously that one is George Michael's original song. Rest in peace to him. We are going to start here in the middle just to play that part, give him his credit that's due for the chorus.
I'll be a father figure. I drink that brown liquor. I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger. This love is pure profit. Just step into my office. They'll know your name in the streets. Leaving on me. I protect the family.
Genius. Okay. And I just gonna go around telling people my dick's bigger from now on. I love it. Okay. So the other part that I wanted to point out for father figure is at the beginning.
And I found you, you young.
And for that one, I was very much reminded of Phil Collins. A couple songs where obviously he was a drummer, so that sound just reminds me of that. But In the Air Tonight, I believe, is what I have here. It's kind of that slow. One more time with Taylor. Now, obviously, that one, it also just reminds me of like a military drum beat too. So then, therefore, there's a whole bunch of things I could probably come up with drum lines and things like that that have that kind of sound. But it was that slow cadence that reminded me of Phil Collins from the 80s. Was that the 90s? That had to have been the late 80s, right? Anyway. All right. So up next, we have the eldest daughter, and we're gonna start that one also at the beginning. Now, this one's a little different, but it really reminded me of Mary J. Blige, which No More Drama, which is based on the theme from The Young and the Restless, the soap opera. So just listen to that.
So tired.
So that's Mary J. Blige and a little bit more sped up there, but that song comes from Henry Mancini. It is actually called the Nadia's theme. Okay, so then if we take that and go back to here. A lot more similar in the, pacing. It sounds a lot like that to me. And one more, number 6, Ruin the Friendship. We are going to start.
But I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage. But I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna leave you out.
I couldn't help it, y'all. I'm never gonna let you down. I had to throw in the Rickroll here. It's just. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. It just had to be said. Okay, so the last one we've got here, Ruin the Friendship. So this sounds very much again like that Fleetwood Mac, even maybe Eagles to me. I pulled up the music video for Sarah from Fleetwood Mac, and look at that orange dress. Now, doesn't she look like a nightbird in orange? Like all these things, I'm just seeing these same sort of themes come through again. But let's listen to this one. So that's the beginning of Sarah. The beginning of yeah. So again, not exactly the same for obviously it's not going to be, but it's just what it reminds me of, with especially with the drums for some reason. And I had to just bring up that Demi Lovato had a song with this exact same title, Ruin the Friendship. So we're going to just give that a little listen to, just because it's the same theme, you know? Basically saying if we aren't friends anymore, we're now lovers, right? So.
Your body's looking good tonight. I'm thinking we should cross the line. Let's ruin the friendship. Let's ruin the friendship. Do all the things on our minds. What's taking us off?
All right, so I'm gonna play this out and hang out with me in the comments. I want to know what you think about all these audio Easter eggs and how they're tying together. And I will have a part 2 with the last 6 songs on the album. Some cool stuff coming up in that part also. And I will talk to you then.
From September rain, gray overpass full of neon names. You drive.